All right, we are back at Monerotopia 2026. Things are just heating up. Not even really heating up yet. I think they're about to heat up, though. We have the one and only xenu, who will be speaking live here at Monerotopia. He runs, I would say, the best podcast in Monero. Not gonna lie. Credit where credit is due. xenu is popping up on stage, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say and teach us about. xenu, come on up, man.
Hello. I have a tag team match tonight, by the way. Okay, where's this? Perfect. Okay, we're all set. Sorry about that. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the aura of Darknet adoption. Because if we're being honest here, there is a certain aura that comes from cryptocurrency that is being used by people who are facing decades in prison. It has a certain power to it that is hard to describe. And to be honest with you, I feel that cryptocurrencies that aren't used on darknet markets are less effective. They're less impressive. It's kind of like, why aren't they being used? It's probably because they're not good enough. And so I look at the darknet markets as a measuring stick. If you're on darknet markets, you're probably worth checking out, because in the future, when we need peer-to-peer cash, we're going to need something that can withstand the full weight of the state. All right, so disclaimer, okay, very important, the bottom bullet here. This is not an endorsement of illicit activity, okay? I don't want you guys running out of here saying that I told you guys to all go buy drugs on the internet with Monero, okay? Don't do that. I'm looking at you. Don't do it. Don't do it. You totally can do it, though. It's super easy, but don't do it, okay? We study the darknet markets because they're the oldest peer-to-peer economy that depends on cryptocurrency. So if you were to wish away cryptocurrency, these markets would no longer function. They need uncensorable digital cash. What other markets are like that in crypto? Because if you think about it, crypto is entirely speculative. It is people trying to get rich. It's pretty cringe, I'll be honest with you. And so, like, with people trying to get rich all the time, it's kind of like, well, that's all speculation. You don't need cryptocurrency for speculation. But if you want to buy drugs on the internet, you kind of need cryptocurrency for that, right? So it's actually being used as a utility, as a tool, as a means of defiance. So yeah, it is my opinion that these are the most important cryptocurrencies to study. And also, we're going to be just focusing on the traditional drug markets like the Silk Road, or the markets that have appeared after the Silk Road, as they are the traditional markets that are well known. All right, a little bit about me. I created Anti Moonboy. I'm the host of Anti Moonboy News. It's a weekly show. If you like this presentation, you can check it out. It's basically me talking to a microphone for an hour. The same exact thing. I wrote Darknet Market Maximalism. You might like it. Check that out. And I'm also the creator of Attack of the Poison Outputs, which is about how Monero works and how it can be attacked. I actually just had somebody tell me that they got into my content because of that. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, antimoonboy.com. So the average darknet market user, they're actually just a regular 18 to 49-year-old male who wants to get high, okay? So if you look at like any news article about darknet markets, what do you see? You see the guy with the sweatshirt over his head chugging away at the terminal. That's actually not how it is. It's really just people who want to get stoned, and that's the only reason they use cryptocurrency for the most part. So like they're not waking up like, oh yes, I get to use Monero today. No, they want to just get high. So they're like, well, I gotta buy some Monero because I want to get stoned. So that's why it's very important to study these markets. It's essentially not a prerequisite for them to look at cryptocurrency as a speculative investment vehicle. They're buying cryptocurrency like it's gas for their car. And that is, again, really unique if we look at cryptocurrency. So I already kind of said this. Without peer-to-peer cash, cryptocurrency, these markets would collapse, and they would have to come up with some clumsy methodology to get around this. There were darknet markets before, like cryptocurrency, but they're much smaller, obviously, because it's just much easier to use Bitcoin or now Monero. All right. And, the thing about adoption on darknet markets, it's kind of like this propeller, right? It gets things moving. And all else equal, the more people who are using cryptocurrency in these markets means more people are using cryptocurrency out of these markets. And we've seen this with data of Monero's grassroots adoption in the white markets. We're going to actually look at that a little bit later. And I believe it's driven, initially at least, by darknet markets. Now, here's a graph that's, I think, pretty important. It shows the Monero transactions over time. There was a, over here in the top right, that was actually a spam attack. But generally speaking, you see it's kind of going up, right? And I have an X there. And that X happened on August 24, 2019. Does anyone here know what happened on that day? 0.02 XMR for the person who can get it. Anyone? Going once? Twice? On that day, White House Market was created. White House Market would become the largest darknet market in the world, and it was Monero only. There it is. They used branding from Breaking Bad. At its peak, it was Monero only. And what they emphasized was that, hey, you know what? You losers out there, you can use Bitcoin. We're going to use Monero because it's much better, it's much safer. And they have mandatory PGP. Prior to this, PGP was just like you would click a button to encrypt your message, and it wouldn't even encrypt it. It would store the data on the site unencrypted. It was a whole mess. So things definitely improved over time. Now, this is an interesting parallel, though, because if we think about it, the guy who created the site is at large still, right? Compare that to Ross Ulbricht. He had bad OPSEC. Sure, he blew up, but everyone knows who he is. It's kind of like comparing Bitcoin to Monero, where Monero is very subtle. It's in the weeds. It's not trying to get attention. Whereas with Bitcoin, obviously it has a lot of attention. And yeah, I mean, the creator, he could be in this room right now. I don't know. Maybe he could be. All right, so here are the largest darknet markets today. As you can see, mostly Monero only. There is a Monero/Bitcoin. And it's still used, Bitcoin's still used due to liquidity, obviously, and also multisig. Multisig is just much more convenient with Bitcoin. Although this has changed recently, Monero is now better. For a while, Monero's multisig was broken. So yeah, this trend, it's going to continue over time. Now, this is an important slide here, talking about why Monero was chosen instead of other cryptocurrencies. Obviously, we have this crypto anarchist culture. I mean, we have like a freaking market with like hemp clothes and shit. You know what I mean? So like, it's a market that's like very anarchist, grassroots, pro-libertarian. We have built-in privacy. I mean, this is essential. If you want something to be used in privacy economies, it needs built-in privacy. Active development and research, egalitarian mining, and ASIC resistance. The mining is actually really important because mining creates a technical foundation of people who understand computers who support your project. Arguably, it's the most important thing on this list. We're proudly open source. There's no pre-mine, network effect. These things are pretty obvious, right? Now, one thing, though, that we do is we celebrate darknet adoption. I'm out here looking like a doofus with a mask on. But you know what? We're celebrating the fact that we are being used. Are we not? And we're being used by people who are facing decades in jail. And we wear that as a badge of honor. And that's because we say use Monero. Arguably the best slogan in crypto history. And also we have all these different types of people in Monero. We view Monero as a commodity. So these are the reasons why Monero is used and not other projects. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I know a lot of skeptics here will say that they don't like this connection, and they'll say, like, well, guys, come on, privacy is normal. Privacy is for everyone. Let's pump the brakes here talking about criminals. And while I understand that, you have to understand that from the perspective of the state, there is no difference between the privacy advocate and the drug dealer. Okay? They hate us. In fact, they probably hate us more than the drug dealer because we're right morally. So these optics, they're fair, but honestly, I think privacy is for criminals. Let's just be honest here. The only difference between the way the government is attacking people on darknet markets and the way they're attacking privacy advocates is that the mask is off. When they're attacking darknet markets, they're doing it openly. When they're attacking us, it's subtle. They lie all the time. They sneak stuff in. I mean, they're calling end-to-end encryption terrorism. I mean, that's insane. So this is a subtle warfare that's been happening over time. All right, ClearNet adoption. We're mogging. If you go to any of those sites, look at their data, Monero is used more than other projects, punching way above its weight. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we emphasize using Monero. Very important. Okay, now we're going to get to the Aura section of this because, Darknet adoption has Aura. Why am I making this connection? So Aura, what is it? This is from Merriam-Webster. Cool factor. Star power, style, swagger. By the way, this word is definitely overused right now. I'm fully aware of that, but I kind of like it. But anyways, yeah. What is Aura? It's kind of this just like whoa feeling, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. So I have some pictures here of Aura. This is a little break from crypto babbling. Okay, look at that. That's Aura right there. You just want to hang out with those guys, play some poker. Okay. Here's a good one for the football fans out there. Messi, one of the most iconic players of all time. If you know the context behind this story too, it's pretty incredible. Okay, this is kind of random. I was watching Lord of the Rings the other day, but the guy with the horn in this scene is only on a screen for like 6 seconds, and he freaking kills it. He's got so much aura. Like, you guys know in Return of the King with the charge? Oh, yeah. I mean, that guy is so cool. I want a whole movie about this guy. But, like, why does he have aura? I don't know. He's just cool. The horn sounds cool. Some things you kind of just can't describe. All right, so we've gone over examples of what aura is, and now we can look at how it can be applied to other things. So how can cryptocurrency have aura? And it's related to what we've been talking about with darknet markets. I remember one time I asked a friend of mine who, frankly, when it comes to technology, he's a total retard. Like, he has no idea what's going on. And we were talking about cryptocurrency, and I asked him, like, okay, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin? What are your thoughts on Monero? And he's like, I don't understand the purpose of Monero. So I said, well, Monero is so powerful. It's the cryptocurrency of use by drug dealers around the world. And you know what my friend did? He made this face. Well, I'm wearing a mask, but he made this face like, ooh. You know what I mean? Like a, huh. Ooh. Right? His reaction was caused by aura. He was like impressed. This wasn't some nerdy tech project. It's actually being used in high intensity situations. And that's pretty incredible compared to other projects out there. So yeah, what causes this though is really the real thing is defiance. It's defiance of the state. The aura of a darknet adoption is derived from its defiance of the state. And it's what separates Monero from the compliant herd, spelling error, of number go up supporters. What other projects cheer for delistings? I mean, come on, guys. Like, Monero's in a world of its own here. But there's a silly paradox, though. And it's that, over time, as Bitcoin has become more and more family friendly, it's lost that kind of intensity that made it so powerful in the first place. It's kind of like, yeah, Bitcoin's still great, but it's not as cool. You know what I mean? Now then, here's an example of cryptocurrency aura. Ross Ulbricht leaving prison. I mean, we all saw this picture last year, and it was freaking awesome, right? We saw this. It was like everyone agreed at the same time that this was just a great feeling. Here is negative aura in cryptocurrency. Okay, look at that doofus. Okay, he's pathetic. He's a fraud. And all he talks about is getting rich. You know what I mean? It's terrible. He's not talking about freedom or liberty or privacy. He's not talking about using Bitcoin. He's just talking about getting rich. And we got a couple more slides here. So yeah, I mean, cryptocurrency's maturation into like tech stocks. Some people view this as a good thing, and I'm not opposed to investing for what it's worth. I think investing is a use case. But if we only focus on the investment, it's detrimental to the project's soul, okay? Because all we're going to do is we're going to attract other people who don't care about liberty and who don't care about freedom. And yeah, we got to keep them in check, guys. We got to just keep these. And honestly, the Monero community does a great job. We, kind of talk down on people who only talk about price. And like, yeah, higher price is important. So like, we should be happy if it happens, but if it doesn't happen, we're still going to be here. We're going to still be grinding. And that's kind of the last thing I'm going to say before I wrap up. Our idealism can't be taken down. Okay. This is the white pill. Yes. We can be attacked. Monero can end. It could happen. Like the project can be taken down somehow. But we're still going to be peer-to-peer cash advocates, and we're going to continue fighting back. Am I right? Okay. And that is that. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, we can continue things on. Just yell at you guys. Okay, yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, so he asked me if I'm plugging a book. No, I wrote this manifesto called Darknet Market Maximalism. It's on my website, antimoonboy.com. It's a much more eloquent explanation of what I just described. Basically, I just have slides here, but I put a lot of effort into the writing and stuff. So check that out if you're interested in this content. Anyone else? Oh, yeah, what's up? Okay, he asked me about what my thoughts are on FCMPs plus. It's awesome. like I don't know how else to say it. Like ring signatures suck, okay? They're not that great. They're effective enough where they've gotten us this far. But if we want to like really get to the next level, full chain membership proofs is ideal. And frankly, it's just going to leave the competition in the dust. So I'm really excited about it. The developers are working their butts off, and I'm sure all you guys are excited too. It's a game changer. He asked me if we're going to cater to, or if we were to cater more to darknet markets, would we change anything in our development? Honestly, the answer is no. By being peer-to-peer cash, we're already doing what they want, right? And they're going to use it. And by the way, I should emphasize this too. Yes, I'm only talking about the negative side of things, but we can apply this to the positive side of things. So yes, criminals are using it, but like I said, like the way we're viewed as criminals, are we not? So in a positive way, you would have people resisting dictatorships, people resisting price discrimination, and this is possible with pure digital cash. We're just seeing the results of this play out in the free market. What's up? He's asking me if the if I believe the price is stabilized because people use Monero. Is that kind of, yeah. I do see that as being part of the reason why Monero isn't like pumping as much, for sure. But like, you have to understand that obviously there's a lot of people here who hold Monero as an investment. And I don't think that's really going to change at all. My point with that graph was more so that after the creation of White House Market and after the influx of darknet markets for Monero, transactions just started to go up. And I think there's a correlation there. Not saying that all Monero people are buying drugs on the internet. I'm saying though that like it has an influence with it. All else equal, if you have this person using Monero, then 4 other people will. It's like the multiplier effect, I think it's called. So I see that playing out. Oh, so yeah, he asked me about the recent price pump. There's a lot of different theories, but the main one is that there was actually a hack that happened, and someone had a lot of Bitcoin, and they wanted to wash their funds as quickly as possible. And that was reported by this guy on Twitter. Yeah, and so it's actually an organic pump and dump if you think about it, because it was actually people using Monero. So it was kind of unfortunate. I mean, we were all pumped up, right? Like Monero's going up, and then we got rugged. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so he asked me a great question. How is Monero going to be attacked after we have full chain membership proofs, right? The answer is actually what's already happening. They're going to use KYC exchange metadata. In my series, Attack of the Poison Outputs, I actually talk a lot about this, but basically they're just monitoring KYC exchanges as well as CoinSwap services, and they're looking at metadata and they're comparing the two. And that's actually caught someone who was using Monero. If you look up the incognito market case, he was swapping from Bitcoin to Monero, sending that to an exchange, and they knew it was him because it just matched a pattern every single time. So I would say metadata it's the biggest problem because there's no way to get rid of it, because people are just going to be dumb and they're going to use KYC exchanges. Not saying KYC exchanges are like really dumb, but from a privacy perspective, it's a bad idea. It's like the worst thing you can do because, yeah, you're hemorrhaging metadata and that can be used against you in situations like that. What is it? I don't know what that. Oh, right. So he asked me if Monero would survive like a solar flare kind of or like a solar Carrington attack, I think. Probably not. I don't know. Like a lot of things would get screwed in that type of situation, as far as I know. Which is kind of why, like, I think Ray before me, he was talking about gold and silver. Hell yeah, like gold and silver is money. I'm very supportive of that as well. Don't put all your chips in one basket. But yeah, because Monero depends on like networks and computers and stuff. Yeah, I don't think we would survive something like that, but a lot of things would be in trouble. That's it, yeah. And ammo and seats. Absolutely. Is that it? All right, well, okay. Too late. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I think the bearish case is if we don't adopt decentralized exchanges. So we need to make that a priority. And everyone here, if you've never used a decentralized exchange, that's your homework assignment for me. I want you guys doing that. So that'd be the bearish. The bullish, I mean, I guess it would be, to be honest with you, the most bullish thing that could happen is if like some influencer started tweeting about Monero. That's kind of just how cryptocurrency, it's sad, but like that's actually it. Like if Elon Musk like posted Monero Chan, it would be like freaking chaos. And I don't want that to happen. So that would be a little too much, but yeah, but okay. Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate your attendance and have a great day.